Today we're seeing how they farm and catch these giant ass mud crabs in Bangladesh's Sundarbans, the world's largest mangrove forest.
This is a floating crab factory. Giant crab assembly lines containing thousands of tiny micro crab homes.
Every single one of those boxes has a crab.
It takes something that is almost completely worthless in these parts and it turns it into a luxury food product that can be shipped around the world at insane prices.
Have you ever seen so many crabs in your life? Look at that.
These guys are going to try and grow those legs back, turning themselves into soft-shelled, defenseless crabs which taste absolutely delicious. I'm not even in the cooking room and it's like blowing out my eyes. That is garlicky, spicy. There's a ton more flavor than we would ever cook crab with in the West. Something tells me it's going to be a very different recipe of soft-shell crab.
Honestly, it's kind of genius, and here is exactly how it works. The Sundarbans. This is the largest mangrove forest on Earth. This shifting labyrinth of tidal rivers, mud and root. It's a primal place that just never agreed to be tamed.
Good morning, people. Welcome to foggy as hell, Bangladesh. Right now, we are punching through the world's largest mangrove forest, the Sundarbans. This is one of the last remaining places on Earth with Bengal tigers, but we're not after tigers, we're after crabs.
This is where three giant rivers finally run out of option. The Ganges, the Brahmaputra, and the Meghna. Everything they carry across half a continent ends up here. It's a place that rewards toughness and pretty much nothing else. Around the edge of the Sundarbans, millions of people live on the margins. Fishing, poaching, and notably, crabbing. Because once you step inside, you understand something real fast. Among the millions of mangroves here, there are billions and billions of crabs.
Right now, we are at this tiny little port where people come and they're gonna bring in fish and crabs, honey, whatever else they catch, maybe tigers, from the world's largest mangrove forest. We are right in the south of Bangladesh, and let me tell you, this place is a bitch to get to, but it is beautiful. And the locals, they love it. And it's cold, it's damn cold. Honestly, it's kind of a tiny market. They were saying that it's just literally, it's so cold that most of the fishermen aren't going out. There's a bunch of what look like tilapia to me here. I thought this was saltwater. Shrimp again. Yeah, it seems like mainly shrimp. We've got like this giant wooden scale in the corner where the sails are going down. And again, just like basket after basket of whatever fish they're able to catch. Some small catfish, tiger prawns. These are wild caught though, not farmed. I'm curious, how much is it for a crab?
200 for the big one.
200 for the big one.
This part of the world is so remote that the crab trade here stayed pretty much entirely local.
A lot of these mud crabs, in fact, they're tiny. None of these would be legal in Australia.
But as it turns out, these small crabs are exactly why they're able to make so much money from these floating factories. And in this room are thousands of crabs, boxed up, ready to ship.
Check out this mud crab trap. I've never seen anything quite like this. So they're just sort of small one-way traps, made entirely of bamboo. There's a rack of 4 traps, just tied together for transport, I guess. Hi guys, so they're saying that these mud crabs usually only cost 600 taka per kilo. Right now I'm paying 1,400 a kilo. That's like 11 bucks a kilo, something like that. That's a cheap mud crab.
Pasta ready, what do
we got?
Fish?
Oh, tilapia.
Guys, tilapia are like freaking everywhere. They are a scourge on this earth or what? Wow, look at all these fish. This guy's rolled in. He's got a bunch of, I don't know what type of fish that is. As an Australian, I cannot help but love barramundi. I'm sort of nostalgic about it. I don't know why, having lived in Vietnam for so long. Guys, so this Sundarbans mangrove forest obviously is just like endless mud flats. That's why there's all these mud crabs here. These guys have rolled in now from like deep in the Sundarbans.
Fishermen sleeping on skiffs for weeks at a time, doing nothing but loading crabs. And the methods are just brutally simple.
Guys, that is incredible. I was expecting like a few crabs. They held a couple up. That entire boat is chocker with crabs. There must be 1,000 mud crabs in that thing. Absolutely wild.
So like that way they catch crab.
Really?
Yeah, really.
They just catch in a net? They don't have traps?
They have traps, but some people they use this kind of net, some people they use trap.
Essentially, they're just like long winding for crabs. They have long rope, baits all the way along it, and then they just drive along and scoop them up. That's just how many mud crab there are out here.
So the roof is 1,300 feet long. Wow. Yeah, 1,300 feet long.
Despite the abundance of crabs, the Sundarbans are an unforgiving and incredibly dangerous place to eke out a living as a fisherman.
They have a fear to attack tiger, and
Really?
some of them has been killed by tiger. And oh, like he have seen that some other team member got tiger attack.
ধুরি পানতে এরকম ঘাট ধুরি মোটকে রেখেছে আমরা দুজন তখন ভয়তে এরকম কাঁপতেছি লাঠি নিয়ে
He saw a tiger running out to a deer, and he was like fear and holding the stick. If tiger come with me, then they will maybe strike with tiger. You know?
Wow,
Like the way.
crazy.
They respect the tigers, they fear them genuinely, and there seem to be a decent number here. But these days, something else keeps them from going further into the rich mangrove forests, and that is pirates.
So if they went to that place, it could be a full boat crab, but they could not go there because of pirates. So for that reason, they hunt crabs to nearby, so that it's a small amount of crab.
Wow, this is a small amount of crabs? That's crazy.
2 kilograms.
In the past, these crabs would stay close to where they're caught, just sold locally at markets. That meant little money for the locals. But thankfully, these floating factories are turning these little mud crabs into massive moneymakers. Just row after row of boxes stretching on like this endless conveyor belt of temporary homes. Each morning, the system resets, and thousands of boxes need to be refilled again.
These, in fact, are crabs. Fresh from the markets, just like we saw, brought in by fishermen from all over Sundarbans. And these tiny ass crabs are about to be shoved into tiny little boxes so they can be sold at a premium as soft shell crabs.
At a glance, these creatures look almost identical. They are not. Before the day can even begin, thousands upon thousands of crabs must be sorted by hand, one by one. The biggest crabs are very valuable, but they don't molt frequently enough to make selling them as soft shell really worth it. So they're sold as is, once again, internationally.
That's around about as big as they seem to come in from the mangrove forest. This guy is 365 grams, I would guess. Let's see how accurate I was. But I cheated, I saw it beforehand.
Not all crabs are created equal. If it's missing a claw, your value just collapses. You're destined for the local market stall.
And there's rejected crabs by the Bangladesh restaurant.
Local.
Yeah, local.
These guys, single claws, they're just sold locally to local farmers. Nobody wants you guys. You are the losers.
Egg-carrying females are spared. They're set aside for like large breeding ponds. The females are identified by holding them up to a light source. The shells are just thin enough that workers can spot the eggs inside.
I can't see shit. What, not eggs, what is it? Oh, there's no eggs in this one. That's why I can't see shit. Oh my God.
But it's the medium-sized males that everybody wants. This is the premium product. They grow fast, they molt often, and they can be reliably turned into soft shell crab, one of the most valuable forms that this animal can ever take.
Because there's even more crabs just getting loaded in from these markets. Remember, they have 60,000 boxes to fill, and just every day there's hundreds and hundreds that they're getting that have malted out, that are getting sold off, so they always need to replenish that. Just bag after bag every morning.
Oh my God, they're all escaping.
We have this giant bucket of mud crabs loaded up. Everything's been sized, sexed, sorted in various ways, shapes or form, and I think right now we're about to head to the correct pond in which to store them. The females with eggs, I'm told, are going to be put in a pond where they can release the eggs. They'll turn into crabs. I think that's one of the cooler things about this, is they're not just going to eat the females with crabs, they're going to make sure that it grows out the next generation. All right, so I kind of thought we were just going to tip them in, but apparently not. Instead, you just grab the crab, you say goodbye. Guys, I'm just realizing right now that they are throwing all these crabs into the pond with their claws still tied up. I don't know, go figure. Maybe so they don't fight each other. Your guess is as good as mine.
The ones that remain will be moved to a new home, the floating crab boxes.
This is both how you fatten them up and get endless supplies of soft shell crab.
What looks like chaos at first actually follows a real simple logic. At its core, these huge square ponds are dug straight into the tidal flats. There's one narrow bridge that runs from one side to the other directly in the middle, and from there, hundreds of bamboo rafts are placed on the water.
And that's all you need. It's just like a floating rack, and you're gonna put baskets the whole way in it. You just feed the whole rack from one side of the pond to the other.
The simplicity here is absolutely genius. Compared to the vertical mud crab farms that I've seen in Vietnam and Singapore, this system has big advantages. You see, the tidal flats here keep the oxygen levels high and they flush out the waste. You don't need any pumps, no complex plumbing, no heavy planning. And because each row only covers half the pond and stays locked in these straight lines, the entire operation can be run from the central bridge. By just nudging the raft along with their feet, workers can turn a messy, labor-intensive process into a smooth, human-powered conveyor belt.
And just look at all those thousands and thousands of crabs. Every single one of those boxes has a crab.
It's the assembly line version of crab farming. First, the boxes have to be loaded. That means prepping thousands of crabs by removing their legs.
Looks kind of brutal, but crabs grow back their legs, and that is in fact exactly what we're after here, because we want to trigger that inbuilt molting mechanism. These guys are going to try and grow those legs back, turning themselves into soft-shelled, defenseless crabs, which taste absolutely delicious. They seem to keep the swimmers at the very back, but all of the kind of regular legs are cut right off the crab. And then again, just triggers that molting to come through, and these legs will grow right back real quick.
Each animal is set into its own box and loaded into one of the floating rafts, and it's just box after box, thousands of crabs moving into their new homes.
This is like the one instance where these guys get their hands freed up, their claws freed up, because they cannot molt if they're all tied up, not easily. So even in the big grow-out ponds, they are kept tied up, but here, no.
It makes feeding simple too. Thousands of tilapia, an invasive species here, are bought from the local markets, and each one is cut down by hand, piece after piece, into small chunks.
So here we have all our like sliced up tilapia. This is the crab feed. I'm gonna feed like 60,000 crabs. Let's see how it goes.
From here, the feeding line kicks in. Just grab a bowl of fish parts, nudge the raft along at your own pace, and just a couple of women can feed an absolute army of crabs in no time.
Food, 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 food. You're done.
And when feeding ends, the clock resets. The entire goal here is to catch these crabs when they are molting. And the soft shell window is tiny, so farms have to catch that exact moment relatively quickly. So every 4 hours, the harvest begins again.
That's molted. So she's just clearing out the old shell and then putting it back. How long do they keep them here for in this kind of setup?
গরমকালে 15 দিন 20 থেকে 15-20 দিন লাগে আর শীতকালে 2 মাস 3 মাস লাগে
So in winter season it takes like 2 months to 3 months, but in summer season it takes only 10 to 15 days.
Wow, just 10 to 15 days. And then they molt and then they sell them. Yep. There we go, guys. Dead crabs, soft shell crabs. That was a nice roll.
Tens of thousands of crabs are inspected again and again throughout the day. All of it is made possible by the speed that this system enables. The movement is familiar, but the attention is far sharper this time. And only two outcomes really matter here: death or a fresh molt. Dead crabs are removed and just discarded, but malted crabs, that is pure gold. That is what this is all about.
Malted crab. So there's maybe like 4 or 5 malted crabs and a few dead crabs in here. And that's basically what you can expect from a single row in a day.
Malted crabs are pulled in, packed tight, and frozen hard.
And completely hassle-free crab. You can just eat the whole damn thing. That's the big bonus for me. I hate fiddling around with crab, but that is a serious premium product. It sells for 60% more than your standard crab with a hard shell. And so this bad boy is about to get shipped all the way to Japan.
Once fried, the shell becomes crunchy again. It is heaven. And in Bangladesh, they do it with their own local twist. The gills come out first, followed by a quick rinse in hot water. Then flour meets masala. The crabs get tossed through it fast and lowered into this shallow wok to fry away.
Oh guys, I'm not even in the cooking room and it's like blowing out my eyes. That is garlicky, spicy. There's a ton more flavor than we would ever cook crab with in the way. Boom. All right guys, here we've got, man, a plate full of those like Bangladeshi soft shell crabs. These things are not large, but this is the preferred size. In fact, the big ones are going to be sold with the shell on. But all this stuff, these thousands of boxes are here for this reason alone. This crab is hot as hell. There's oil, there's spice, it's Bangladeshi style. Let's go. Oh my God. It's crazy. That is out of this world. You get your heat and the oil first. You get that crunchy exterior and then just boom, right through to pure mush. That is crazy. There's no fight, there's no ceremony. That is just crab simplified. Like the problem with crab and lobster is all of the effort. And I'm telling you, soft shell crab might be one of my favorite things on earth because you just get rid of any of the hassle. Just chunking right through those legs. And cook like this Bangladeshi style. There's more flavor to it. You've got some of that masala, giving it a little bit of a kick, but honestly, it's not overpowering. You still really get that crab-like flavor. This is so hot coming right out of the wok. Dude, that is incredible. Look at that flesh. It's just kept in these boxes for long enough for it to molt before it gets cooked up like this. I mean, this is absolutely surreal. None of this is getting eaten in Bangladesh. I feel sorry for these guys, because honestly, this is a world-class product. Instead, it is all getting bought up and sold, shipped straight to Japan. Dude, the other thing I just love about soft shell crab is it's all year. There's none of that, like you get a giant crab and then there's no meat on the inside of it. It's just, this is pure flesh. You're just biting through absolutely everything. We're heading back to the mainland off this tiny little like island near Sundarbans. And there's just this boat is loaded with guys taking their soft shell crabs back to sell to the Japanese companies. Check it out.